had to treat my own daughter after a car accident last night because of a drunk driver. I, 39 male, am a paramedic. I've seen some crazy as well as scary stuff working as a paramedic. Last night was for sure the worst. It was 10 p.m. getting close to the end of my shift. We got a 911 call about a car accident. When we got the call, I had a bad feeling and I didn't know why. Then when we got to the scene, I found out it was my daughter's 16 car that got hit. She was in critical condition and we had to take her ASAP. All of her vitals were low and then her heart stopped. We had to revive her. She made it to the hospital. She had 8 broken ribs, which caused a collapsed lung and broken blood vessels, causing her heart to go into sudden cardiac arrest. She also suffered a spinal injury, and doctors aren't sure if she'll be able to walk again. They put her in a medically induced coma to give her body rest. The man who hit her was driving drunk. The only injuries he suffered were a broken wrist and some bruises. It is so unfair that my sweet 16-year-old daughter, who was just on her way home from work, has to suffer when the drunk driver suffers from only minor injuries. I see it all the time and it's so unfair. I just needed to get this rant off my chest. Am I wrong for high-fiving a stranger who humiliated my boyfriend? My boyfriend and I go to the climbing gym regularly. He is really into it and I just started climbing a few times a week. He's stupidly competitive about it and quietly insults beginners who are not as good, which makes me feel self-conscious because I'm a beginner. Last night we were at the climbing gym again and he was doing a V6. There was about 6 people taking turns on the problem, probably because it's a newly installed route and they were all failing. Then, a girl came and flashed it. She made it so easy, but at the end, she didn't hold the final hold for 5 seconds, and my boyfriend called her out after she was done. Holding the last hold for 5 seconds is supposed to be the right way of finishing a route, but she was doing it so easily, she definitely could have. I think he was just being salty because she didn't when he couldn't. I gave her a high five because she was walking towards me and did amazing at the problem, and knocked my boyfriend off his high horse, and she was surprised but high-fived me back. My boyfriend turned to me and gave me a what the fuck look and wouldn't talk to me the rest of the night. When we were heading home, he ranted that I couldn't be trusted to watch his back if I chose to take a stranger's side over him. I was shocked that's what he took from the climb and told him he shouldn't have nitpicked her when she clearly climbed it correctly, and he got mad and argued I was supposed to take his side over people I don't even know. If he gets this upset over something as simple as this, I don't even want to picture how he is when shit really hits the fan, so you might want to reconsider your relationship. I, 22 male, broke up with my girlfriend, 21 female, over her body count. Just as the title says, a couple of months ago, me and my girlfriend, now ex of 5 months, were talking at a party and we were both a bit drunk and she started asking me about my past. She knew I was only in one relationship before her, but she was also really interested in my sexual history, so I jokingly agreed to answer anything as long as she did the same. Oh! This is why you don't ask these questions. This is why you don't ask these questions. Danger, danger, danger. Now I've only slept with 3 people in my life, including her, and I knew that she had only been in one serious relationship before me, so I expected her answer to be about the same. But she admitted that she had slept with 24 people before me. I thought she was joking, but she explained in greater detail and it was clear she was 100% serious. At that point, I wasn't in the mood for any more partying, so I headed home for the night. 24 bodies at 21? That's wild. Wild. I couldn't sleep thinking about it, and I can't really explain why it bothers me so much, but I knew this was something I wasn't getting over, so when she woke up, I went to her apartment and broke up with her. She started breaking down and asking me to explain why. I really didn't want to tell her, but she kept asking for an explanation, and I thought it would be unfair not to tell her, so I told her, and she started breaking down even more and apologizing to me, which made me feel super guilty. I kept telling her she didn't have to apologize to me as she didn't do anything wrong, and she asked me why I was breaking up with her then, and I honestly didn't know what to answer. Eventually, she calmed down and I headed home, but she's been bombarding me with messages, still apologizing me and telling me that if she could turn back time, she would have never touched any of those guys and that she regrets it. I believe I'm justified in leaving her since I know that this isn't something I can get over and that I'll never see her the same, but I still feel super guilty about it all, especially since I can't really explain why it bothers me so much. I wish I didn't care about it at all, so we could have just kept being happy together, but 25 people? I just don't know what to do. I feel really guilty for feeling this way, and even more because I know she's suffering for something she can't change now. I'm also checking in on her to make sure she's okay and trying to comfort her the best I can, but now I'm thinking that maybe it's cruel of me to do that because it'll make it harder for her on the long run, and that maybe it's better for her if I stay more distant. I am at a loss as to what to do or if it was fair for me to break up with her over this. I just wanted to rant about my situation somewhere since I don't really have anyone else to talk about this, and this is all I could think of. Any input is appreciated. Okay, he does have an edit. He goes, seems important to mention that she, me, and the people around us come from a religious background and that we date to marry. This isn't an assumption. We had the intentions of growing old together. A lot of people are asking why I didn't ask this before. This is because it is seen as rude to ask about things you've done that include other people. My wife poured a bottle of water on me, and I think I'm done. This happened a few weeks ago. My wife and I were arguing about how to cut onions. I had stupidly thought that I could do it all, that I could chop up onions and add them to the chili as she asked. She came by and got pissed, telling me that I'd cut them too coarse, that they were supposed to be much smaller, and that the chili was ruined because I'd put them in the pot. I said, okay, let me just get them out. They're just on top, and I was just trying to do what you asked. I can cut them smaller, and I start to pull them out with a spoon. She says, no, that's okay, don't do it. She'll just do it. She pushes me out of the way and takes the knife out of my hand. I let go. I start to complain about how I did what she asked, and if she wanted them put on the chili at the end, she should have just asked for that instead of me putting them into the chili while it was still on the stove. I desperately wish I could do something, anything right. I retreat to the other room as I'm pretty freaking sad. I'm 28 years old and I can't make canned chili apparently. I sit down on the bed trying to stay out of my wife's way so she can fix my mistakes. She brings in dinner and I'm ready to drop the problem. I eat and she eats half of her food, then brings it back up. I apologize multiple times. She doesn't seem satisfied. I tried to explain myself then that I feel like maybe she should have communicated a little better if she'd wanted the onions as a garnish instead of just in the chili. She tells me I'm not listening, that I'm cutting her off. I don't understand. I feel like we're taking turns. I desperately try to stay calm, keep my voice quiet. As calmly as possible, I say that I would appreciate it if she could be more specific about what she wants. Then she snaps and pours the entire glass bottle of water all over me. As she does, I can hear myself saying, please don't, as water runs down my face and back. It's making a huge mess. My first instinct is to clean the water up, wipe it up, get the blanket dry. I tried so hard to be good. I tried so hard to keep my calm and it got me nowhere. I get my keys and leave, still crying. My wife starts crying as I walk out, telling me I don't care about our relationship and that I'm just abandoning her. I just tell her as calmly as I can that I need to be alone for a little bit. I go out for an hour and sit by the library. I'm cold and wet. She called me several times. I don't really want to answer. I haven't been okay since this. I know it seems stupid, but this event has pulled up a lot of bad things she did to me in the past when she was going through a lot of things in her life. She's apologized for some, others she doesn't even remember. Verbal, emotional, physical. I don't think I can stay married. It's like everything keeps boiling up. I don't know why this. Maybe I'm overreacting. I don't know. This incident just sounds like it's the straw that broke the camel's back. Oh, bro, what? I don't know why I thought this was a man, but it's a woman. There's an edit. She goes, I want to add that I'm also a woman too. My wife and I are both women, since many of the comments and responses are assuming I'm male. Am I wrong for purposefully breaking my girlfriend's high heels prior to my friend's wedding? My friend had his weekend last wedding and I was a groomsman while my girlfriend was in the bridal party. My friend is a man who is 5'6", so needless to say he has issues regarding his height. The rest of us groomsmen range from 5'7" to 6'2", so we are as tall, if not taller than him. He has less of an issue with this, but he did have issues with the height of the bridal party. My girlfriend is a taller gal at 5'8", and the rest of them are between his and her height. I'm 5'8" too, sissy. During his wedding, he decided he wanted to look a bit taller, so he brought shoe insoles that made him 2 inches taller. This was partially driven by the desire to not be shorter than any woman up in front. He also wanted for none of the bridesmaids to be in heels. He wanted them all in flats and that would keep them all shorter than him. His wife didn't necessarily agree with this, so she didn't make it a requirement in their outfits to wear flats. So he tasked the groomsmen with talking to the ladies and getting them to wear flats. All of them agreed except my girlfriend. She said she picked out heels to wear just for this day and she was going to wear them. I tried to point out that there will be other chances, but this guy only has one wedding and the nice thing to do is to just appease him. She said that she listens to the bride and the bride says she can wear heels, so she will. I tried my best to convince her to just wear some flats, but she wouldn't listen. Eventually, it got too close to the day, and while my girlfriend was practicing and one of the heels mysteriously broke, it was too close to the day to get an exact replacement, so she was stuck in flats. So, you may have guessed it was me. And I know it was fucked up, but I'll pay to replace it for her. She didn't find out until I told her after the wedding, and she of course was not happy. She said I was policing her outfit for my insecure friend and that she wanted to look good that day. I don't think I did anything wrong as I stopped her from ruining his wedding for him. So, am I the asshole?